Okay, now wait a minute. Where's all the children? There's supposed to be children here. Well, nobody's here. Well, I guess I can take my mask off. Whew, woo! Where is everybody? I was told children were coming to VBS. I was the crazy professor last year, and all the kids were here. But this year, I'm a new man. No more crazy professor. I'm a chief engineer. Trains. We got trains going this year. And I don't know. I thought I heard a voice. No. I've been hearing voices once in a while. And I don't know. So we're going to have gizmos. We're going to have science going on. We've got all kinds of things. Got a little old steam engine here. This thing here is about 70 years old, if you can imagine that. Every now and then I may be talking to you like this so you can hear me good and loud. Train whistle. All kinds of things. And I kind of want you to keep your eye out because I have equipment here. All kinds of things. And you want to be looking for things to see what we might be doing. So, you're probably ready to go. I'm going to see about Jesus. Power pulls us through. Now, that's a good saying there. Jesus' power pulls us through. He pulls us through the imagination station for one thing, and I hope he pulls me through. Now, the imagination station, that's where we are right now, and you're supposed to have imagination. Now, do you have imagination? Do you know what imagination is? Because imagination, that's kind of a complicated word. And you hear people say a lot of times, you'll come home from school or something, and you say, hey, Mom, I got an A. And she'll say, well, imagine that. Well, what's that got to do with imagination? Because imagination takes place in our minds where we think about something and we're dreaming about something, a big ice cream cone on a hot day, and I'm imagining something. And I love to imagine things. I'm kind of a scientist. I like to work in the lab, and that's why we call this the science or imagination station. So, we want to make sure you have imagination. Now, where are we going to get imagination from? I'm going to try to hopefully create some imagination for you. I'm going to help you try to get your imagination really going so you can really enjoy the imagination station. Now, you've heard about Ramsey. I think you've heard about Ramsey. He's a good friend of mine, too, as a matter of fact. And he's a bighorn sheep. And I don't know if you know where he lives or not. Do you know where he lives? Way up in the mountains. Now, this is where you close your eyes and you go, oh, way up there in the mountains where it's cold and snowy and icy. And, that sounds like it'd be so much fun up there, walking around on top of the world. But if you're a baby and you're just born, you've got to be able to walk. And you go, oh, man, that could be really hard. Because remember, Ramsey knows that Jesus' power helps us do hard things. Have you ever had to do a hard thing? Boy, I tell you, I got stories that would curl your hair. Of course, I don't have much to curl anymore, but I was a helicopter pilot. One of these things. You've probably seen one of these flying around here. Well, I was a pilot, and I flew those, and I had to go to Vietnam. Had to go over there for a year. I had a wife and 2 children. They had to stay home all alone, and I'm over there fighting the war and getting shot at and all that kind of stuff. And it wasn't a lot of fun, but I did get to save some people's lives, and that was important. So it was a hard thing to do, but I too know that Jesus' power helps us do hard things. So let's see about Ramsey. So he had a hard thing to do of walking. Now, how long does it take a baby bighorn sheep to be able to walk and climb as well as its mother? Does it take 6 weeks or 1 day? Now, I want you to think about that, because if you think about how long did it take you to walk, you don't remember. Well, ask your mother, your father, or ask a friend and say, well, when was I walking? they'll tell you 9 to 12 months, and you'll go, oh my goodness, that took a long time. Well, we're going to take a little pause, and I want you to think about how long did it take the baby bighorn sheep to walk. The answer is 1 day. Oh my goodness, you go, and I go, well, imagine that. 1 day, and that baby is walking around just fine. And we know that Jesus' power can help us to do hard things. So, I think, I sense, I'm getting a little vibe, I'm getting a little voice again. Oh, yes, you've got imagination. We're ready to move on. We've got projects to do, a scientific project here, kind of. It's called an off-rail roller. Now that doesn't, I don't know, that sounds kind of funny, doesn't it? Off-rail roller. Because as we know, on a train, it sets on some things called rails. And the rails tell the train where to go. Well, what if it's not on the rails? Then have you ever had anybody go, now son, you're off track, so get back on the track? Well, you're not on a train track. What do they mean? They mean, well, focus on what you're doing. If you're studying your math or learning something new, focus and stay on track. But this is called an off-rail roller, so that means it must not really need a track to work. So we're going to see just how this thing works. And you all have a gizmo bag. And in that, we have some things. But you've got to go get it first, don't you? I got mine already. You got yours? You don't? Well, we better stop a minute. And while you're out getting the gizmo bag, I'd like you to get something else. I'll bet you know what this is. Everybody's got some of this in the house, hopefully. So if you could just bring back, bring back about that much. If you could, that'd be real nice. If you don't have any, don't worry, it's okay. But if you have some, bring it back and bring back your gizmo bag, and then we're going to proceed. Oh, I heard that voice again, and they said, you're back. Oh, I sure hope you're out there. Are you having fun? That's the main thing. 2 things, 3 things actually. I want you to have a lot of fun and laugh and enjoy. And, when I work on these locomotives and stuff, I know you haven't seen much of me doing much work, although I showed you where I was pounding on this. You wouldn't believe what I got to do, because I think I told you I got to pound it out and make one of these. I can't believe that. So, I want you to have a good time, but I have to read a lot of books about locomotives because I didn't know much about steam engines. And you know what? It's the same way I like this book right here. This book right here is the Bible. And it tells us all about Jesus, God, and everything about life. It's amazing what's in this book. So I study this quite a bit in order to keep on track. Aha! Jesus gives you the power to do hard things and stay on track. Okay, so we're going to do the experiment. So we got the bag, the gizmo bag. You brought that back, and hopefully you found some of this. Doesn't look much like a railroad track, though, does it? And actually, the instructions call this off-rail, so we really don't need a track. But just for fun, we're going to have a track. And I can make a track really quick. Take your paper, if you got a magic marker or a crayon or a pencil, or just use your imagination. We just draw a line on there, we draw another line on there like that, and then we go whoop, boom, boom. What are those things called? Who knows what those lines are called? Now, we got to learn a few things about trains. Rails, right, you got it. Was that Tommy that? Tommy, yeah. Okay, we keep on going. We got our ties here, we got rails. So we're hoping that our roller will go down that way. Here's a bunch of extra rubber bands. I actually got 2 tracks. Here's another one that I made. So we'll put it down here. You never know which way it's going to go. Let's get that out of the way. Now there's a strange thing. Look at that. I wonder why they're sticking on. Oh, you think I've glued it, don't you? Yeah, that's what they thought last year. They said, oh, you glued it. No, I didn't glue it. See that? They're loose. It's interesting, isn't it? Well, let's get back to business here. Okay, so we got the track. Let's empty our bag out and see what we got. Nice Ziploc bag here. I don't know what that's for. Anyway, here. We've got a rubber band. We've got a paper clip. Put that down here. We've got a short straw. You never want to get the short straw. You always want the long straw. Got that too. Then we've got what looks like, now here, see, most of you probably don't. Do you know what a spool is? A spool. That would be a spool. And if you talk to your mom, if she sews at all, she's got thread and it's wrapped on a spool. That's what this is. Then there's this thing on here, this flat thing that sticks out. Now, if you know what that is, and there, if you look at a railroad wheel, you'll see it's got one of these things on it. Now, what's that called? Right, the voice. The voice says a flange. Well, we got these 2 pieces with flanges on them, but then one of them has this little bitsy thing sticking out here. See the difference? This one's smooth, this one sticks out. So, there's all we need right there to make our roller. So, you take the paper clip, take the rubber band, and you hook it on the paper clip. Right here. I just hooked it right on there so it's on the paper clip like that. Well, that looks pretty good. Like a needle and thread, isn't it? Like I could sew something. Now you have to pay attention. Remember, we have to follow the rules of how we do this, because if you do it any differently, it won't work. So we got to get the flange and the half of the spool that's got the little knob on it. And you take the paper clip and you stick it in that hole right like that, and reach your fingers in here and pull that right through like that, and put your finger in the rubber band like that, and I've got that now. Now, you're going, now, don't get frustrated. Oh, it's too hard. No, don't get frustrated. Just take your time. We can always stop everything, and you can get it right. Put the long straw in that rubber band like that, and we got it like that. So, that's pretty cool. Now comes probably the hardest part of all. This has to go on here. Now, you guys have got little fingers, so I know you may not have noticed this one, but you've got little fingers, I got fat fingers. But you got to get this up in there and out that hole that's up in there. Now, we have to hold here again. I need about 3 more hands. Take this. By the way, if you were here, I'd have you come up and help me. Put this on here. Take that. Oh, did you see that? Look what that did. It jumped back in there. Well, this is terrible. I'm liable to get fired. Oh, well, here we go. It's in there. Put this back in there like that. Put my black thing together. Pull this up here like this. Put my fingers in here. Get that on there like that. Take the paper clip off of the rubber band like that. And lo and behold, we've got it. Short one on the smooth end. Long one on the end with the knob. 2 halves stuck together. And there it is. And you go, so what's that do? I'd rather play with my cell phone. No, no, no. We hold this in here and we wind it up like this. Oh, I've been working on the railroad. Oh, that's terrible, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Then I lay out my track, but it could be a piece of paper. It could be the carpeting on the floor. It could be anything. we're going to put it down, but I want you to notice something. You see, when you're working in the imagination station and dealing with science, you have to pay attention to the details. You see this little long, I'll turn it so you can see it. You see this long straw here? How it's down, it wants to, down there? That's how you know what, because do you know what direction it's going to go when I let go? Huh? You don't? Yes, you do. Just look here. The end of this that's up, see how it's up? That's the way it's going to go when I let go, if it works. Look at that. Right down the track. Perfect. Wow! Did you have fun? Did you get your roller together? Did it roll down the rails, or did it kind of go, nah? You know, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But if you follow instructions, and of course, like remember, I always like to think, here's the main instruction book right here. This is a good one to keep a hold of, and times get tough sometimes. So what I want to know is, though, I'd be interested to know, oh, there's that voice again. Oh, I see, they can't talk. No, I know you can't talk to me, but maybe I'll see you. You never know sometime. Maybe next year. Anyway, I want to know, did it go straight down the track? Did it not go at all? Because it doesn't take a whole lot of winding to make it work. And going to give you a test. Oh, test. Which way is it going to go when I let go? Remember, we said if the stick is pointing up, that's the way it's going to go. So let's try it. Yep, sure enough. That's how it works. So I hope you have fun with this thing. But the main thing is, don't get frustrated if the rubber bands fall out or things fall apart or you can't find the paper clip or whatever, because as we know, Jesus gives us the power to do hard things. And while this might have been fun, it can be hard and frustrating too. So, I think that covers everything today. We're gonna do more. There's more classes coming up, and we've got more fun things to do. And so, I think I'll finish with this one today, just to give you a little teaser. What do you think this thing is? Have you ever seen one of these? People last year, they didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was. See if you can find out. Talk to your mom, your dad, or anybody that's had a baby. They'll know about this. They'll know. So I want to thank you for coming today. It's been really a lot of fun having you here. Even though you weren't right here, I know you're out there and you're with us, and we hope that one day we can see each other. So take care. God bless. And remember, trust Jesus and let His power help you do hard things.
This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. Jesus made a place in heaven for me. This train is bound for glory. 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 Jesus made a place in heaven for me. This train is bound for glory. This train.
Okay, now let's bring it down.
This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. Jesus made a place in heaven for me. This train is bound for glory. This train. Oh, this train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. Jesus made a place in heaven for me. This train is